Alrighty, everyone. Here we are with top 8 of the Pro Tour, Hellscube 8. Smarty has seeded highest and chose to go first. This will be a best 3 out of 5. Sideboards will happen after game 2. We've got Smarty on Simic Turbo Fog versus KlunkerPlunker on Jund Gary combo. Looks like both players opting to mulligan. We see mining is huge for Klunker. Gary in the opening hand is nice. The Treenager is a excellent finisher, but not quite all of the combo pieces here, I don't think. Smarty going down to 5. Smarty knows that before sideboarding that it will be hard to take a game, but it will be something that will have to be done unless we want to see the reverse switch. We've got the land from Smarty, and then the really windswept heath from Klunker. Tap in the windswept heath. We've got Shrek movie. What else? Overgrown Tomb of Yawgmoth. Klunker pays the 3 life. Exiles Shrek movie. And uses the Overgrown Tomb to Thought Sneeze Smarty. Which will reveal quite the grip of counterspells. And the otter is gone. Back to Smarty. We've got the swamp, the Hellscube swamp, which taps for blue and green. Blue or green. And then the Shifting River, Shifting Forest is a transforming land that basically switches back and forth between tapping for blue and tapping for green. Looks like Smarty slightly struggling to put the Thought Sneeze germ into the hand, but Klunker going on with her turn. Got the I sawed this taiga in half, discarding the Gary to make the mountain. Tapping 2 for Near Seek. Finding another Gary, it would seem. Looks like the Gary, or the, not the Gary, but the near seek was flummoxed. Now, gyroblasting. The mining to return the flummox. Klunker did get the Mox Ruby off of the first flummox. Smarty's turn, drawing See If I Care, which can counter abilities. We've also got the Bog coming in, just as a Bog, not as a Fog. Klunker draws the Jund Supermarket. Plays out the Gary. I believe. There is another Gary in the graveyard. I believe Klunker can just draw her entire deck here if she wants to. And it looks like that is what's happening. Draw her entire deck and make a bunch of black mana. This is not good, I will say. I think this might be the green side, which is why we didn't see the See If I Care, because this does counter abilities as well. We've got the Awoken Rotation. Finding another Gary. Pulling out the Wasteland Oasis to sack that Gary. Presumably just bringing back the Gary. Continuing to draw cards and make mana. And there's the demon from Demon Fire. So that's game one into Klunker's favor. Going straight to game two. Again, no sideboarding until after game two. Let's look at this hand. It's a lot of lands. An early Onslaught could be good. We've got the Windswept Heath, we've got the Taiga, we've got the Supermarket. Smarty going down to 6 and then starting off with the Swamp. Klunker getting the Verdant Catacomb, it averages out. Sacking that now to go get Gary. Drawing another Verdant Catacombs. Playing out the Jund Supermarket. Using the Verdant Catacombs ability to sacrifice the Jund Supermarket. presumably grabbing another Gary, but maybe something else. These lands decks tend to also be a little bit of toolboxes because there's so many different lands that do different things. Getting the Wasteland Oasis, which will then sacrifice the Gary. Which will... Oh, and there we see the buy to exile Klunker's Graveyard. That will definitely slow down Klunker, but the Verdant Catacombs and the other tools in hand mean it might not be as much time as Smarty would want. Klunker casting the Near Seek. Getting a really windswept Heath off the top 10. And back to Smarty. Paying 2 to shock in the breeding pool. That is just regular old breeding pool. I don't know why all these lands are not loading. And we've got Jace the Sculpture. Sculpt in their hand. Klunker cracks the Windswept Heath. Exiling Shrek movie. Grabbing Lurgoyf's Butt Print. Dealing 1 to Klunker. Klunker to her main phase now. Tapping out for the Onceler. We could see it get flummoxed here. Smarty thinking it over, tapping the... Yep, here comes the flummox. Klunker opting for the Mox Emerald this time. Playing out the Verdant Catacombs. Tapping it. Here's Gary. Tapping 2 for another Near Seek. What is in those top 10? Another Verdant Catacombs, which means probably another Gary, but not yet. some more sculpting of the hand. And we see the tower command. The tower command being up is definitely something Klunker is going to have to worry about. Klunker's turn. We see the mining. This could certainly do some good, but Smarty, 4 untapped lands. But Klunker gonna give it a go. Smarty thinking. Pay 3 mana for the Quandrix command. Or can play the Otter that you can't refuse. Or can let it resolve, but I don't think that is the path to victory here. Tapping 1 for the Otter you can't refuse. Playing out the Windswept Heath and passing. On end step still. Paying 2 for opt and opt 2, fusing those together, I would assume. Oh no, paying 1. Just to opt. Interesting. Putting Watergate on the bottom and drawing another sculpture. Oh, and then using the tower command to gain a life. Oh, and put buy on top of their library. That's smart. Wait, no, because it gets shuffled in. Yes, and we see that happen. And then brainstorming. Klunker's turn. We do see the Treenager. Tapping 3 for Ren. It will resolve. Upticking Ren. Going to be sacking a land, presumably Gary. To find another land, presumably John's Supermarket. Stacking of the wastes. Probably trying to avoid having too many Garys in the yard at once, because I believe... Oh, there's not currently one in there, but we do have the Jones Supermarket now, which doesn't currently have any ability, or it doesn't have... It can fetch, but it doesn't have any mana abilities. That'll be it for Klunker. Passing back to Smarty. Smarty on the end step. Tower command. Choosing to gain a life. And shuffling their counterspell back into their deck. And tapping 3 to opt twice. Oh, that's why. I thought it only cost 2 mana, but it costs 3 mana if you'd like to fuse it. Scrying 1. And then drawing 1, I wonder what it is. And then scrying another 1. And then drawing another 1. Getting to see if I care. Drawing a 3rd sculpture. Brainstorming. Putting the breeding pool and one of the sculptures back. And playing out the Watergate and then passing with all untapped lands and a handful of instants to Klunker. A hand with 3 lands in it. Klunker's game plan at this point might be to try and get off the Ren ultimate. That's what I would be trying to do at this point, anyway. I'd also probably be swinging that Otter at Jace. Not that we know it matters. It doesn't matter because there's 1 here and 1 over here ready to go. Upticking Ren, sacrificing the Lurgroif's butt print. Grabbing a Jund Supermarket. Using the Lurgroif butt print, enters ability to gain 1 off of the Jund Supermarket. And then the Ren landfill trigger. And swinging in the Otter. Oh, I might not have been able to attack last turn. I don't remember. At the Jace, which will take 1. And that'll be it. Tapping the Watergate now to take a look at Klunker's hand. Smarty probably liking what they're seeing. Though I believe this means Watergate doesn't make any other colors. Let me double check the wording on Watergate. Yeah, so none of those cards are any colors. So Watergate only adds blue. And then tapping the tower command to gain another life and shuffle in a good spell. Well, we are certainly in for a long one here. But that usually tends to be the case when you're up against Turbo Fog, I would imagine. Playing out another Watergate. Making some decisions. Possibly considering playing a second Jace, which is just an additional card per turn. And so much hand sculpting. But sending it back to Klunker, who draws a Wasteland Oasis, yet another land. Klunker plays out the Wasteland Oasis, sacking the Gary to make a tapped waste. It'll also be another Ren trigger. We're getting back with the Gary first, though. As I mentioned before, it's mostly fetches. There is now a Lurgor's Bloodprint in there, which if we're moving in a long, grindy direction, that might be the play, but not quite sure what the move is here. Pulling out the Verdant Catacombs, it averages out. There's that landfill trigger. Sacrificing that Verdant Catacombs. Going for a swamp. Grabbing a Gary. Tapping the Jund Supermarket. Assuming that's another Verdant Catacombs. Could be a Wasteland Oasis, or could be Get. I don't know. This deck can go in so many directions if it wants to. It could be a Windswept Heath. A really Windswept Heath. But it is most likely that Verdant Catacombs. Gary. Getting another landfill trigger. Playing a swamp. Not sure where that's coming from. Might be coming from... No, it was in their library. I'm not sure. John's Supermarket does put basics into your graveyard from your whammy deck. For those of you who don't know, a whammy deck is a... I think it's from a playtest card, but basically it's a deck that has one copy of each basic land in it. Jace the Sculpture now at 2. And it's some real slow going right now. Some slow, grindy magic. There's still so many options here for Klunker. Because she's got the really windswept youth on the field, and the Verdant Catacombs that averages out. As well as, I think, at least... Yeah. One of those in the graveyard as well for the Jund Supermarket. Almost at the point where she can ult Ren, but she probably wants to wait until Ren is at 8. That way Ren sticks around and she gets all of the landfill triggers. Smarty tapping 4? For Real Quandrix Command. Presumably to bounce the Trainager. And I guess probably that second shuffle mode. This is pretty bad for Klunker, obviously. That being said, well, Klunker's going to have to draw quite a bit of stuff to get through See If I Care, and I guess it's the only hard counterspell. I don't think Klunker has any food in the deck. Bunch of Klunker's graveyard getting shuffled into the library too. Not great. Let's see what's left. 2 copies of Nearseek, Mining, and the Onslaughter. Now getting that 7th Ren trigger, it seems. Or the Ren +1. Getting another Jund Supermarket. And going to recast Ren. Does this get countered? It could with the See If I Care, I believe. Instead, seeing the Gyroblast to bring back the Flummox, which then gets cast again. I see. Wow, that's really good, huh? Instant speed graveyard recursion for 1 mana. That's kind of crazy if I think about it. Doing some hand sculpting. Got the Simic Value Engine. Another near seek for Klunker. Smarty taking a quick break. We will unpause when they get back, I think. And I can't pause. It'll just be 2 separate recordings, which, as any of you who have watched most of these videos will know, I'm not editing these. I am uploading them as soon as I finish recording them. So now you will get to hear me rant and rave about the Pro Tour Hellscube 8. I think overall it's been a lot of fun. Seeing some very creative decks. We've seen Gary come out as a clear sort of thing that people are trying to do with 3 Gary decks. Smarty is back, so I'll ramp up. Gary is a very strong thing to do, but I don't believe it's the strongest. I think Zvosher brought a purple, black, and red Storm deck that frequently wins on turn 1. And I don't know if Gary can win on turn 1, but this Storm deck does it a lot. But now on turn a million might as well be. We're seeing Klunker with the near seek. Looking at those top 10, grabbing a Lurgar's spot print, counting up the Delirium. We're at 5 card types in Klunker's graveyard, it would seem. Oh no, Delirium minus 3. 3 minus Delirium, I don't know. And then using the prowess to kill Jace the Sculpture. I think Klunker might be a little upset when another one probably comes down next turn. Using the Watergate to see, wow, it's Phil Swift from Flex Seal and Gary, Indiana, the usual suspects. And using the tower command to gain some life and shuffle back in the Quandrix command. Smarty now playing out another Jace the Sculpture. And then putting that back from the Jace the Sculpture. Honestly, that fog, but there's something there. That conjures a Colossal Dreadmaw into hand. That might be what Smarty needs to close this game out. But that'll sit on top of the deck for now. Here's another mining. But, here's another mock, Flummox. Klunker employing the make them have it approach, and Smarty having it. But still getting the prowess trigger on the otter. Swinging it into Jace. Looks like that'll be it for Klunker. For Smarty, tapping 4, including the tower command. Floating some mana. And flipping the Shifting River. Oh, for Simic Value Engine, to draw a card and put land. I think. Yep, putting down a second Simic Value Engine. Back to Smarty. Brainstorming with Jace. Oh, and the combination of Jace, Brainstorming, and the tower command shuffling a card from your graveyard. Oh, that's brutal. That is, yeah, that hand sculpting is quite something. Klunker getting the Awoken rotation. Does she dare to cast it against the 6 cards in hand, fully untapped? And you keep thinking, oh, surely they're out of counterspells at this point, but the Jace showing you so many new cards every turn, that really might not be the case. And in this case, you know, we've had this See If I Care in there for a while. And we've got the Quandrix command, which only counters artifacts or enchantments, I believe. Yeah. So, hard casting. No, not hard casting. Hard casting with the Awoken and floating the black off Gary. The Awaken. Prowess trigger for the Otter, so that Jace will die, but there's a third Jace in the hand. Smarty really thinking here. How much does getting another land really help Klunker, though? Actually, with a Gary in the graveyard, and oh, there's no fetch in the graveyard, but there's fetches on the board. Oh yeah, Klunker can infinitely loop Garrett, the Jones supermarkets as Gary's with the fetch in the graveyard, but doesn't currently have a payoff for it. Grabbing the Verdant Catacombs, it averages out, probably just hoping to do some deck thinning, but also it's going to take quite a bit to get that payoff to resolve. Tapping, floating some mana, assuming one of the Simic Value Engines is gonna go, if not both of them. There's the buy. It has returned. This is not a good sign for Klunker. Got the one Gary in the yard. One Gary in exile. I've got the Urza's bobblehead. So that's the finisher. The first one isn't going to be very good. It just doubles. Klunker sacking the Verdant Catacombs. Getting an overgrown Tomb of Yawgmoth. Also getting a Lurgoyf's butt print. And you gotta think Smarty at this point, licking their lips with this buy in hand. There's the Goifle brand. Good mid-range tool. But probably not enough at this point. And this Goifle brand would be pretty big right now, but definitely, Klunker definitely shouldn't swing it in against the Wizards. Smarty is thinking about it. Do they want to let this happen? It does resolve. Goifle Brain is a 7-8. Swinging in with the Otter. Smarty's at 16. Klunker is at 26. Goifle Brain can do a lot. But the Wizards can also do a lot. So we'll have to see on the end step. Tapping a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. With the Simic value engines to draw 2 cards and put 2 lands. Uh-oh. Smarty's turn. Here's that fog, but there's something there again. Which can also be entwined to do a lot of damage to the Goifle Brand. Can't quite kill it yet. There's another Jace. Let's draw 3 cards. Let's put 2 back. There's the 4th Jace. He can go back. One of the instances of the Wizards playing out the Shifting River. And that's it. Gonna be very reactive here on Smarty's end. Let's see what Klunker draws. Smarty discarding the hand size, putting the Flummox in the bin. Presumably that's what's going to get shuffled back. Also putting an Otter you can't refuse. Putting a lot of counter magic. There's still plenty of counter magic in Smarty's hand though. As Klunker might be about to find out with the Thought Sneeze. And I think if you're Smarty, you want to counter this, because otherwise the buy is going. Yeah, and that gets flummoxed, which overall is probably a net positive for Klunker, because that gets a counterspell out of the hand, and it's something that isn't essential to the game plan. Klunker swinging in with the Otter and the Goifle Brand. Now let's see if the Turbo Fog deck will be taking damage. Using the Watergate. Seeing the same Gary and Taiga that were there last time that Smarty checked. And now we see it, the fog, but there's something there. Opting to conjure the Colossal Dreadmaw. Beholding the Colossal Dreadmaw. I think. Beholding it. I'm not sure. Klunker's second man. Paying 7 to mill 7 with the Goifel brand. Let's see. A Onceler and a Woken Rotation, Gyroblast. I'm the Demon from Demon Fire. Green Armor, the Forbidden One, and a Path to Graveyard. Those all would have been great spells for Klunker to have in hand. Maybe not the Green Arm. Oh, dashing in the Demon from Demon Fire. Exiling 3 Oncelers, I think. It's hard to tell. But now we've got Demon from Demon Fire in hand. And note that the channel ability can be countered by the See If I Care. Because Klunker is currently able to loop Gary's and make infinite mana. But Klunker is not currently able to back up her win condition. Now we're seeing more Simic Value Engine shenanigans. Untapping. Here are the Wizards. Brainstorming. Putting back Jace. Putting back the Wizards. And I think it's time to bring out the big guns, the Colossal Dreadmaw. Smarty's got so much mana. Smarty's got 15 lands out right now, which means that they can activate Urza's Bobblehead twice. Discarding the Colossal Dreadmaw. Interesting. Would rather keep the grip of counters. Klunker tapping 2. Looks like we're doing this on end step. Tapping everything. It's the Demon from Demon Fire. But we'll see if Smarty cares. Oh, sorry. Oh my. I was trying to close teams so you wouldn't see any more disturbances like that. But it's not Hellscube if it's not at least a little bit scuffed, you know? So let's see what Smarty is planning here, has got going on. also don't know how much X is here. Let's see. Starting with the tower command. Floating some mana. Oh. Why would you see if I care when you can turn all the damage into the wizards? That's a lot of wizards. That's 10 to wizards. And now, exiling the graveyard, saying bye-bye to the demon from Demon Fire. That is a very rough spot for Klunker to be in. And here's the Awoken rotation, which she's hard casting. She's still got the Goifle brand. Still fairly big due to Smarty's graveyard. I think. It's all instants? Oh, because everything else has been shuffled back in. Yeah, no, this thing's tiny now. It's at 2/3. Sacking the Verdant Catacombs, making the Goyf a little bigger. Klunker did say that she specifically tried to make this deck a little bit more mid-range than the all-in combo version of Gary, which is why we've got cards like Goifle Brand in the deck. But a little bit of mid-range in your combo is not the same thing as full mid-range. Goifle Brand does have flying and lifelink, so not completely dead to all of these wizards, but certainly not gonna be able to keep up. Compared to how fast that first game went, huh? This one, quite a different direction. And I imagine the games will be slightly more explosive after sideboarding, too. There's that fourth Jace. Well, I guess it might not be the fourth Jace if a bunch of Jaces have been shuffled back in. That does make the Goifle brand bigger, though. Oh my god. That someone let Yavimaya grow a little too much. Oh wow, with that many lands. And the bobblehead. Yeah, there comes the someone you let Yavimaya grow a little too much. This does make all of Klunker's lands also tap for green. Not something I think she was concerned about. Here come 9 wizards. We'll chump one of them with the honor. And then looks like Klunker's gonna be taking 8. Smarty. Doing something. We're going to see 8 more DeWizards. Oh, tapping the Yavimaya. I'm not going to count how much mana that is. 16 mana. Oh. Oh, that's awesome. So X equals 15. Yeah, that's a big DeWizard. All right, and now we've got sideboarding. You've got to admire Klunker's persistence there. Smarty really coming out on top. I talked to Smarty before the game, and they were a little worried about their deck up against Gary just because most of their fogs don't do anything. But I think the combination of Klunker's more mid-range list, allowing all those DeWizards to be made, and, you know, obviously a lot of luck involved in how the cards are drawn and all that. But certainly Smarty doing all right as we head into the post-board games. And here we go into game 3. It's currently 1-1. Klunker lost last game, so I assume she'll choose to start. This is pretty good Gary hand, I believe. We've got the Awoken rotation, we've got the Gary, we've got the fetch. And from Smarty, we've got some lands. We've got the 1 mana counterspell, but Klunker gets to go first. And so if Klunker can pull it off turn 1, Smarty's got nothing. No Force of Femmes, I believe, which we saw be very effective against this deck in a previous matchup. Yeah, the Turbo Fog deck is not running Force of Femme. We'll see what the plan is here. Klunker presumably evaluating her options, whether she's ready to go or wants to try again. Here we go. Starting off with the really windswept heath. Cracking that. Here comes the sod this taiga in half, discarding Gary. Making the mountain. Tapping sod this taiga. For awoken rotation. Grabbing the Jund's Supermarket. Tapping it. Putting the mountain, oh, is that? Because we're sawing the taiga in half. Getting another Gary. Wasteland Oasis with the fetch. And a Jund's Supermarket. Wasteland Oasis is gonna kill the Gary and then get exiled, I believe. Sorry about that. Klunker now. The supermarket in the graveyard. Getting back Gary. Tapping Gary. Using the Wasteland Oasis to kill the Gary to bring back the Jund's Supermarket. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, I think the Wasteland Oasis stuff was on the stack still, and the supermarket instead sacrificed itself. I don't know. This is... I read the primer, but that was like 2 months ago. Yeah. Klunker's still got a lot of gas left in the tank as far as I can tell. Tapping the Jund's Supermarket. Smarty letting us know that the orange counter is the number of mountains in the graveyard. Awesome. Puts the Gary into play, puts the John Supermarket. Wasteland Oasising the Gary, Indiana, which brings back the John Supermarket, which then has the enters ability of the Wasteland Oasis, and then also taps to go fetch something, is my understanding of how this works. Letting you get a lot of lands into play. Casting Ren, and then just looping John Supermarkets, I'm assuming, to drain the opponent. But first, upticking. To get another John Supermarket, because you need 2 John Supermarkets to loop all the Garys in the graveyard. Pulling out the Southeast Taiga, sacking the John Supermarket, getting back a John Supermarket. Yeah. So that's the turn 1 Gary win, everybody. Glad you all get to see that. And here we go for game 4. As we can see, Smarty's got the Tormod's MTV Crypts ready to go. Klunker with a decent opening hand, but not good enough. This one's got the Southeast Taiga, got the Awoken Rotation, got the Goyful Brand, the Nature's Claim, which will be good to get rid of the Tormod's Crypt, but probably not fast enough. But it'll force when it gets to happen. And the Demon from Demon Fire, so let's see who can make it happen. Klunker will have to put one of those cards back on the bottom. But Smarty's starting out strong with the Swamp and the Tormod's Crypt. You see the really Windswept Heath cracking that. Klunker exiling the Shrek movie. And grabbing the overgrown Tomb of Yawgmoth. Paying the 3 life. Tapping it. Awoken Rotation. But the order you can't refuse. And here's the Urza's bobblehead. Klunker does draw the mining. There is another otter in Smarty's hand, though. Klunker also not currently having a red source, but can easily get one with the Verdant Catacombs, I believe. Is the Verdant Catacombs. Tapping that. It's averaged out. Looking for a forest. Grabbing the Lurgoyf's butt print. Going down to 13. But she's got that red source now. Is she gonna cast the mining? And if she does it stick around? There it is, the mining. And do we see? Yes, we do. There's another otter for Klunker. Sending the otter upstairs. And then tapping the overgrown to Nature's Claim, the Tormod's MTV Crypts. And that's gone. And that's smart because Smarty tapped out, can't activate it. There's another 1-mana counterspell for Smarty. And there's the Yavimaya growing a little too much. Back to Klunker. There's Gary. And here comes the Goiflebrand. Is Smarty going to let this resolve? No. But Klunker has another Goiflebrand in hand that I'm sure we will see next turn. Going face with the 2 otters. Clearly, Klunker is the beatdown here. There's the tower command. And there's Klunker's own Tormod's MTV Crypts. She will play that out. Klunker trying to decide, does she cast the Goiflebrand? Casting the demon from Demon Fire? Dashing the demon from Demon Fire. Exiling the Goifelbrand, the Mining, and the Awoken rotation. Swinging in for 5. Klunker has decided that she is the beatdown. Klunker deciding whether she's done. Could use the Tormod's Crypt now, but no, passing it away instead. Seeing Smarty. Shuffling in the Tormod's MTV Crypts, but Klunker instead activating that. Exiling the Otters, but Tower Command is notably still a mana ability. So the Tormods does go back into Smarty's library. There's the Judd's Supermarket. Using the Judd's Supermarket to fetch a Gary. Tapping the Gary. Oh, using the... I'm not sure. There's so much going on with this deck. I'm sorry that I'm not able to keep up with all the lines. Tapping 3. Tapping 4. Never mind. Bringing back the Judd's Supermarket. There's not another Judd's Supermarket in the graveyard, so I don't believe that Demon from Demon Fire kills yet. could see the Goifel brand come down. Oh, here comes Demon from Demon Fire. Dashing it in. Klunker once again with 5 damage on the field going into combat. Using the tower command to gain a life, and the only other option is to add mana. Could shuffle a card from Klunker's graveyard into the library. And that is what happens. And there's the Goifel brand. Here it is. Counting up the delirium, it's not very big. The only card in the graveyard right now is Gary. But if Klunker's willing to pay 7 life, Goifel brand will get fairly big. Going to end step. Demon from Demon Fire comes back. Excuse me. And back to Smarty. Here's the Simic Value engine. Four mana will be enough to bounce the Goifel brand with the Quandrix command. Klunker getting the Urabrask hit. Smarty currently not able to cast See If I Care as far as I can tell. Going to combat, swinging in for currently 3. But again, that Goifel brand can get bigger. And that is going to happen, most likely, as Klunker is choosing to mill 7. Let's see. Tormod's empty crypts, an Urbrask kit, a Near Seek, that's 3. Another Urbrask kit, and I saw this Taiga in half, and a Wasteland Oasis. So only 3 bigger, so 2 of 4, 5. It does have lifelink though. That also puts more cards in the graveyard for Demon from Demon Fire to exile so that it can be dashed in. Of course, it would be too late to attack with it now. 5, 6. Instant sorcery, land, artifact. Yeah, that's right. Okay, I counted wrong. Wait. Land, instant. Oh, enchantment, mining. There it is. Yep. So Smarty gonna be taking some damage here, but not that much, because we're gonna see the real Quandrix command come down. First mode, bouncing the Goyful brand. Second mode, probably shuffling Klunker's library, or half of Klunker's graveyard into the library. Yep. Still taking 2 off of the otters. Which also means Klunker not getting that lifelink. Which I'm sure she would have liked that. Now tapping 3 to bring back the Goyful brand. Smarty drawing another land. Now able to cast the See If I Care at least. Oh, but Klunker with the Thought Sneeze. Certainly not what Smarty is going to want to see. And the question is now, is Smarty more worried about not being able to counter something with the See If I Care, or is Smarty not more worried about not being able to bounce the Goyful brand another turn with the real Quandrix command? Smarty trying to make that decision. It's a tough one. I think I don't know. Because the problem with the Quandrix command is it really only delays things by a turn. And you can't Quandrix command and see if I care. Smarty deciding to let Thought Sneeze resolve. If I'm Klunker, I don't really care that my Quandrix command got bounced. Or that my Goyful Brand got bounced with the Quandrix command. And I'm probably not wanting my stuff to get countered. Interesting. But no, Klunker wanting to end the game, I suppose. Saying, if you can't bounce this, then I'm just gonna beat you down. I suppose that's probably correct. And this is the advantage of that mid-range option for the Gary deck, is being able to say, I'm the beatdown now. Klunker swinging in, currently for 8. Smarty now at 3. Klunker up to 10. Oh, and now just, there's the demon from Demon Fire for X equals 3. Which is gonna get See If I Cared, I believe. It would have to. If Smarty wants a hope of staying in this. Oh. But the Urabrask hit. Oh, but it's not a spell. Oh, I see. Trying to shuffle. There's Smarty's library. Wow. Cool. This is silly. This card is silly. But yeah, having to discard the See If I Care to counter the Hellbent Channel ability. Because this only says resolve target spell. So Smarty now with 4. Oh. But now Klunker can just ping, use the ping mode on the Urabrask hit. The often forgotten ping mode. And could have hit the prowess trigger. Oh no, that wouldn't have been enough though. That would have only been 3 damage. Okay, no. Klunker not missing anything. Me, however, missing several screws. Back to Smarty. Let's hope this card's a good one. It is not enough. Well, it's not going to be enough. Actually, it might be enough. You exile the creature with flying, and you play out your germ to block one of these otters. and then your germ gets Herbrest hit, and you die to prowess damage. But Smarty doesn't know that. Smarty can see an out. So let's see if Smarty gets there. Smarty could also use the Simic Value Engine, but that leaves them with 1 mana up. So you'd need some pretty good luck. And also, I don't know if any of the cards in Smarty's deck do anything about this board state for 1 mana, so... And there's the buy. But it looks like we're exiling a graveyard. Oh. And there's a germ. It's a 1/1. Interesting. Because it looks like Smarty's just about to get run over by this Goifelbrand. Oh, but that makes the Goifelbrand tiny, of course. Of course, this Herbrest kit's still gonna do it. Can play the mining too for good measure. Creates the swamp. I mean, Smarty's hand is empty. And Klunker has lethal on board. Yeah, here's the Herbrest kit. And that should do it. Gaining 1 life, but that's not enough. So that'll do it. Klunker takes this one in 4. Thanks everyone for tuning in. This one, quite the long one. So props if you watched it all. Thank you for putting up with my rambling. I'll see you in the next one.